Hey, VC, it's Jonathan, your cheap and cheerful record collector. I'm back from our trip out to New Mexico. We went to Albuquerque, Santa Fe, and Taos. Happened to be there on Record Store Day. The problem was I was staying in Albuquerque with a friend, and there was a record store near where he was living. And they did Record Store Day, but they didn't open till 11 o'clock, which I didn't understand, but we were going to be on the road by 11 o'clock heading up to Santa Fe, so I couldn't do Record Store Day there. But I went there the day before, on Friday. I think the store's name was Charlie's. Anyway, it was a little weird. All the records he had, used records, he had resealed and had put a grading on the outside besides the price. So graded VG, VG Plus, whatever. And if you wanted to see the record, you had to take it up to the counter. He would then break the seal, open it up, show you the record. If you didn't want it, he would have to reseal it. I don't get it, but he's been in business 30 some odd years, so I guess he knows what he's doing. Anyway, since I wasn't doing Record Store Day because we wouldn't be there, be on the road, I looked around and I found a couple of things there that I was looking for. First one I'll show you. This is from look this up. I think it's 69 or 68, and it's Kaleidoscope. I think this is their third album, and this is called Incredible Kaleidoscope, and that's the band with David Lindley. I still like to find the first one, but I'm happy with this. Very eclectic album. There's one song, 7/8 Suite. 11 minutes and 37 seconds. Very Eastern Indian raga, psychedelic. Really good though. Really good stuff. There's everything in there. They play everything from guitars, violin, banjo. Some songs are almost country rock kind of things. One guy plays an ode, a kaz, a jumbus, whatever the heck that is. Violin, organ, drums, harmonica. Really great. David Lindley, of course, a great musician. This is a very interesting album. Really happy I got it. It's original with the, which everybody seems to hate, the envelope sleeve where the record comes out of here. Doesn't bother me all that much. I think it keeps the record really sealed and clean that way. First pressing. And price is basically what it goes for on Discog, medium price. And the record's super clean, so I'm really happy to have that. My first Kaleidoscope album. And while I was digging around there, this popped up and I couldn't pass it by. Big fan of this guy, and that's J.J. Cale and his album number 8. This is just wonderful. Money Talks, Hard Times, Taking Care of Business. Just a wonderful album on Mercury, nothing special there, but really great. This is also from 83, this is from. Just a big fan of J.J. Cale, so I'm always happy to find another J.J. Cale album that I don't have in my collection. Then we went up to Santa Fe. Couldn't find anything in Santa Fe, but one of our last days we were in Taos, and we stopped at an artist collective. So it's sort of like an antique mall, but it's all art. But along with the art, there was a rack of records. So I'm looking through the rack of records, and I see one that I wanted, a David Grisman album, and they're priced at $28. So I take out my phone, I did a quick search on Discogs, and medium price is $10. I just couldn't do it. I mean, if it was 12, even 15, I would have paid for it. But almost 3 times what Discog medium price, I just couldn't take myself to do it. So I left it there, and I finally said to my wife, all right, I'm done. Let's just leave. And as I'm leaving, I look at the rack, and there's a section there that's marked Rare Records. And I thought, give me a couple of minutes. I'll just go through these rare records. I'm digging through the rare records, and I saw something I've been looking for quite a while, and really happy to grab it. And it's the Beau Brummels, and this is their album, Bradley's Farm. This is also from 60. I want to say 69. This is an original on the green Warner Brothers label. This is their country rock album. They went to Nashville and recorded this with some of the top Nashville musicians. Really great album. I really loved it. Turn Around and Added Attraction, Deep Water, Cherokee Girl, I'm a Sleeper, Bless You, California. Yeah, I know they put this out for Record Store Day a couple of years ago, and I missed that. So since I missed that, I've been looking to get a copy. So I'm real happy to find an original U.S. pressing of Beau Brummel's Bradley's Barn. Then when I got home from New Mexico, it was a week after Record Store Day had already passed, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go to Bull Moose, which is our local record chain, and see if they have anything left. If you don't know Bull Moose, they were one of the companies, one of the people that had the idea for Record Store Day many years ago. So they always get virtually everything that's out for Record Store Day and get multiple copies. So even a week later, I went in and I found 2 records I was looking for. So the first one I got, which I'm real happy with, is the Muddy Waters Woodstock album. This was recorded in 1975 in Woodstock. I said to my wife, this is not a Chicago blues, smoky club blues album. It's an outdoors in the country blues album. So great. Obviously Muddy Waters, but with them is Pinetop Perkins on piano, Levon Helm from the band on drums and bass, Garth Hudson from the band on organ, accordion, and saxophone, Bob Margolin on guitar, Fred Carter, who I don't know, on bass and guitar, Howard Johnson on saxophone, and Paul Butterfield on harmonica, as well as, So really great. Love this album. Much better than I expected it to be. Beautiful blues album. Not hard blues at all. Real country blues. But Muddy is just wonderful on it. And the backup band is freaking stellar. So great pickup on Record Store Day. While I was going Record Store Day, I found one more that I wanted. And we'll stay with the blues on this one. And it is the great James Cotton. Speaking of harmonica players, this is Chicago Sessions, recorded 2 different times. Side 1 was recorded in 1963, and side 2 was recorded in 1967. Side 1 is the more stripped down, small band, James Cotton, Elvin Bishop, Paul Butterfield, and Billy Boy Arnold. And it says that in the liner notes, it says Mike Bloomfield is on it, but on the personal credits, he's not shown. So I don't really know if he plays guitar in it or not. Side 2 is more of a big band, horns-driven blues album side, with, again, James Cotton on harmonica and vocals, but with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people band. Recording is okay on Reel Records, R-E-E-L, in a really nice blue vinyl. Performances, of course, are great. Side 1 I like a little better than side 2, and side 1 is recorded better than side 2, I thought. But really nice record. James Cotton, Chicago Sessions. So those are the only 2 records I got for Record Store Day. Then when I got home the other day, I went to the local Goodwill, and I'm in there, and there's a guy who has a couple of jazz records. I see a Stan Getz record, and I thought, oh shit, I guess I'm too late. Did you get good stuff? So we start talking. He goes, as he walked in, there was a guy leaving with a big stack of records. So it's all about timing at Goodwill. But I found a couple of things there anyway, even after the 2 of them went through it. They didn't get this for some reason. And it's Count Basie. This is 88 Basie Street on Pablo Records, recorded in 1983, May of 83. This was really good. There's the Pablo label you all know and love. Yeah, this was better than I expected it to be. Covers beat a little bit, and the record's not perfect, but really good Count Basie band. Late Basie, really good. Also picked up, I saw this band probably 1971 or 72 in New York at Hunter College. Didn't know who they were, but the name struck with us, and the band was Oregon. And friends of ours who actually I went to see them with were about to move to Oregon. So we decided to go see them. And I'm sure you know Oregon. That's the band started by, I can't think of the name right now. Where is it? Ralph Towner. Sorry. Yes. Ralph Towner and Colin Walcott on here, along with Glenn Moore and Paul McCandless. I think this is their third or fourth album from 78. This is what I call hippie jazz. It's sort of that ethereal, jazzy thing. It's pretty good, actually. Not bad. Seeing them live was pretty good. And especially seeing Ralph Towner early on. Good record. Not fantastic, but not bad. Another one I picked up there. I didn't know anything about this guy, but I really love this record. Guy's name is Scott Hamilton, jazz musician, saxophone player. Still in Shrink. The reason I picked it up is that on guitar is Cal Collins, who I just discovered about 2-3 years ago, who's a great guitar player. Also Jack Hanna on drums, Monty Budwig on bass, and Nat Pierce on piano. On Concord Jazz, there's the Concord label. And again, this is late 70s, early 80s, I want to guess. But really nice jazz, very West Coast smooth jazz, post-bop. Really nice. Really happy with that one. Another one I picked up, I love that Shout Blues and Jimmy Rushing. And his Listen to the Blues, Jimmy Rushing. This was originally put out in the 50s. This is a later 70s pressing by Vanguard in really clean condition. But with Jimmy Rushing is Pete Johnson on piano and Freddie Green on guitar, Walter Page on bass, Joe Jones on drums, Buddy Tate on saxophone. I mean, what a great backup band. And as Jimmy Rushing used to call him, Mr. 5x5, 5 feet tall and 5 feet around. And this is on the later Vanguard stereo yellow label, but in immaculate condition. Really, I was really surprised what good shape this in. And I love that Shout Blues, Jump Blues. There's Mr. 5x5, Jimmy Rushing. Also, again, I have, if you watch my channel, I'm a big Frank Sinatra fan. I love Dean Martin. I don't have any one by this guy, but I saw it. It was really clean, and I figured I should try it out because he's still around singing nowadays, and that's Tony Bennett. And this is In Person with the Count Basie and his orchestra. Still not a huge Tony Bennett fan, but really good album. This is originally from 1959. This is a later pressing on their budget label, Columbia Limited Edition budget label, but really good. Just in Time, When I Fall in Love, Fascinating Rhythm, Pennies from Heaven, There'll Never Be Another You, ends up with Old Man River. There's Count Basie. It's really good, better than I expected it to be. And finally, here's an album. It's actually an upgrade from the one I had. The one I had is really pretty beat, but I wanted it, so I bought it when I saw it, even though it was beat, and I knew someday I'd find a cleaner copy, and I did. John Renbourn, and this is his album, Sir John-A-Lot. And really nice English folk guitar album from the late 60s on Riverside, Reprise. There's a Reprise label. If you like that English folky, late 60s, early 70s guitar work, a great little album. So that's what I've gotten so far since I got back from my trip, or on my trip to New Mexico. Had a great time in New Mexico. Weather was much colder than I expected. We woke up one morning in Taos, it was 24 degrees and snowing. Wasn't ready for that. But beautiful countryside, great people, food was wonderful. And like Frankie said, it's nice to go traveling, but it's oh so nice to come home. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please give me a thumbs up. And if you've not subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel. And until next time, peace.